Wario64 on X says PlayStation 5 has shipped 84.2 million units worldwide. Ghost of Yōtei has sold 3.3 million units. And links to Gematsu, which talks about how the source is coming from Sony themselves and their financial results. And I know just right off the bat, the people that are going to be watching this video are going to be like, what is this, a win? Is this a loss? Is Smash going to take the L because Colin was right and all this XYZ? Because, oh my God, 3.3 million units sold is a lot of units sold. It is, like, genuinely, it is a lot sold. But at the same time, there is a double-edged sword when it comes to that. And we already have Colin Moriarty. There he is. He just posted, oh, what's that? 3.3 million copies have sold. So it looks like Colin's trying to take a victory lap on this.
The vacuum? Through a vacuum?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. You have to look at this through a vacuum to take a W. Anyway,
you do. And no, it's fine. And I want to be clear about this because this is not cope. This is actually exactly what I said was going to happen. So and I'm sure you'd agree with this too. We're not surprised at this. This is literally what we were saying. I mean, right?
Right. Yeah. Before it ever released, I'm like, okay, it's gonna do okay, and it's gonna fail in the end. Like, as far as like reaching Tsushima number, it's not gonna touch it. And you have a second game releasing. You've decided to change the main character. Well, I mean, this is the risk you're gonna take. And I don't see how this is a win. How is this a win?
It's a massive risk, and it's one of those. I would almost argue it's not even a risk. It's destroying the potential of the future of your franchise by putting their own ideology in front of what people actually wanted from the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I took to ChatGPT with this and just analyze strict numbers with it, because I know people are going to be really in their feelings with this kind of stuff, and they're going to be like, "Well, that's a lot to sell. It is a lot to sell. It's this, that, the other thing," and they're not comparing it to Tsushima, which it forever has to be compared to. And they're coming up with every excuse in the book of, oh, Tsushima came out during the pandemic and more people are at home and there are more PlayStation 4s out there and the games cost less and all these other reasons why it would sell more. So because of that, in the wind and in the face of all that, Ghost of Yōtei is still doing okay, because while it's not matching Tsushima, it's still hanging in there, which I would actually give them that. I'd agree. Yes, it is hanging in there, except for when you pull back the lens and get the actual numbers and the trajectory. So I'm going to bring up a table here that I had ChatGPT create for me with the official stance of actual sales data from pivot points that were announced from Sony themselves. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I said, breaking. Sony announces Ghost of Yōtei sales numbers. It sold 3.3 million units worldwide in the first 32 days. For a sequel, it pales in comparison to Tsushima. And Sony can't be happy with this. Here's a visual comparison I made based on the milestones from Ghost of Tsushima. And this is a very deceiving chart, because people are going to be like, oh, this is fake because look, Yotei's streaking straight up and yet you have it cutting across here. You have to remember, these are based off of reported dates from Sony. So I would argue it is actually higher at this point and keeps going higher, but because they didn't report it till further out, it looks like this is higher right now. So it's kind of a deceiving chart, but I didn't want to lie about any numbers. I wanted to give the official pivot points for each time Sony announced how many it sold. And as you see from the chart, I asked ChatGPT to continue out a projected line. And I honestly expected the projected to keep going. And I was gonna say, man, okay, if it does the projected and it goes higher and doubles everything up, I'd be like, damn, I was way wrong with this. But no, it did exactly what I thought it was going to do. And it levels out and it falls way below this. And I said, when I was creating the table based on the milestones hit, I asked ChatGPT why it had Ghost of Yōtei trailing so far behind Tsushima. I said, how did you get that outcome? And why is Yotei falling so far behind Tsushima? Short summary, please. The chart reflects verified sales milestones and realistic projections. Ghost of Tsushima sold 2.4 million in 3 days.
Yep.
Which is insane. That's another one of those, like, people are saying in 32 days or 33 days, it sold 32 days, it sold 3.3 million. I'm like, it took Tsushima 3 days to sell 2.4. All right.
Exactly. Like a brand new IP
for a brand
out of
new
nowhere
IP that no one's heard of, no one's played before, no one knew anything about. 2.4 million in 3 days, 5 million in 4 months.
Yep.
And climbed to 13 million lifetime so far, by the way, showing strong word of mouth and long-term appeal. Ghost Yōtei, despite launching on PS5, hit only 3.3 million in its first month and shows slower momentum. Why it's lagging? Weaker reviews, less novelty, crowded release window, smaller PS5 install base, and lower replay buzz. In short, Tsushima exploded through hype and timing. Yotei is solid, but lacks the same spark or cultural moment. And at the end of the day, that's all I was saying. That was my argument. I'm like, why would you destroy the potential of a franchise to sell infinite copies, doubling or tripling what you sold the original one, by doing what you did here? Not only are you crippling and kneecapping the potential of the future of the series, but you're also kneecapping Ghost of Tsushima, because now people are going to look at this and be like, well, I don't want to deal with a different protagonist in the second one. I'm just not going to even bother getting into that series. And there are people like that will hear this. Is back in July 24th, 2020. Ghost of Tsushima is now PS4's fastest selling first party original IP, debuting with more than 2.4 million units sold through globally in its first 3 days. Notice how Sony did not make this announcement this time.
Not at all. Completely ignored it.
Completely ignored it. And then 2 years later, we got this one. Sucker Punch, who also silent right now. We're thrilled and amazed. Ghost of Tsushima has officially sold more than 8 million copies. Thank you so much to everyone who's played since launch. We're so incredibly appreciative and grateful for the support. We already got the cope here. We got the cope. This is
the cope's out. It's install-based cope. I knew it was going to come. The
Sony ponies are running. It's not just Colin. It's everyone. They're like they're tagging me and Demian, Grums, you, Yorch Torch. I mean, here we go. Even you.
Them.
There you are. You're right there. There you are. There I am. Yeah. KJN Gamer. Ghost of Yōtei has officially sold 3.3 million copies within the first month. Boycott officially failed. First off, I never called for a boycott.
What? A boycott?
I never called for a boycott.
It is funny
I
because
remember Colin tried to get me in that gotcha when I had him on here. I'm just like, I can only speak for myself, bro. I don't want to participate in this. I'm not telling people to boycott it. For me, it's not something I want to put my money into.
Yeah, straight up. I was not interested in the game. I was like, this game's not for me. It looks like looks sloppy. It's not who I wanted in it. I didn't say to boycott it. Who said to boycott it? Maybe Yorch. Did Yorch say to boycott it?
No, I honestly, I did not see anyone say it. Maybe Yorch.
Yeah, I didn't really see boycott. Maybe. I don't know. Well, wait, click on this? Because we officially lied? Did we officially lie?
No.
Can you click it? We lied about fake numbers.
Looks like I was correct, and so was Circana, a.k.a. Matt Piscatella, to which Grums quote tweets, wow, look at him lie. I said 3.2 and growing, which is true. I remember this came out. No one even said anything about it. I was dead on. And still, this psychotic dude with a chubby for Antifa babes has to lie about what I said. Here we have from Grums. The gap is closing. Looks like Yotei has grown from 2.6 to 2.8 accounts to 3.2 million. Tsushima still leads at 3.8, but the gap has closed rapidly. It used to be as high as 25% overall, but is less now, around 16%, which is still a tremendous amount. It's so funny how quickly people forgot about this tweet. This is like
because it doesn't go in what they're trying to say. They're trying to say we're lying.
And when I used Grums as my source, they're like, "Oh, Grums is your source?" And it's like, well, now Grums was right, and now they're using that as to champion it. I'm like, well, make up your fucking mind, man. Crumbs was right, and you were mad at him, but now Sony said it, and you're happy with it. So which one is it?
Dude, that's ridiculous. Can you pull up my account real quick? And once you're done reading this,
Yeah. Can you keep reading it while I bring that up?
Yeah. Tsushima still leads at 3.8 million, but the gap has closed rapidly. It used to be as high as 25% overall, but less now, around 16%. And Yotei continues to pull in more money globally than Tsushima. It has since the beginning by about 13%. This is because of the 70 versus $60, folks. It hasn't changed, and I posted this before. This is likely due to price increase and different price promotional campaigns. Overall, sales are fine under Tsushima account-wise, but ahead dollar-wise. Tsushima had a sales spike later in the year in August, and it's possible Yotei will have a similar spike during the holidays.
Well, before you keep going here, I do think Yotei will have a bump during the holidays,
I would imagine,
as every game will. And they're like, "Oh, you're coping." It's like, no, this is how it fucking works. Again, at the end of the day, all I'm saying is, if you're getting outsold by your predecessor, you lose.
Yeah, I think so.
You win nothing. Good day, sir.
Yeah. When you have an IP, is the point to make it weaker in the second one? No,
the hope is so strong with that.
And like, so let's just take movies, right? You get Jaws, then Jaws 2. Jaws 2 was huge, but people didn't like it, right? As much, but it still did really well opening weekend, and then people kind of, right? So it's the same. You see this all the time when sequels. Gremlins 2 comes out. All these movies, the second movie can do very well if it had a banger first movie, but then people will pull back, and then it's the third movie. It tells you how people really felt about the second one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the same thing with Borderlands 3. Like, that sold really well, and people are like, eh. And then Borderlands 4 kind of suffered from that because it kind of destroyed the whole brand with it.
That's exactly what happened to me. I loved Borderlands 2, bought Borderlands 3, was bored to tears. Borderlands 4 came out, I said, nah.
Yep, exactly. Once you destroy the franchise, it's over. Look at Star Wars. Look what they did with that. Anyway,
Saints Row, I will never touch another.
Yeah, exactly.
So I had a 2.5 million projection. This was like around the 16th. And so this is pretty much in line with my projection too.
How is anyone trying to take this as an own?
I don't know. Did I say it was? I never said it was a flop. Ever. Find it. Never.
Well, I did. I said it was a flop multiple times, but I define a flop as not reaching the expectations of what Sony would have liked.
Right.
That's how I define flop. Maybe I'm not defining it properly.
So to me, like the Tsushima 2.4 million the opening weekend versus the 3.3 in 5.5 weeks. That's the numbers to look at. How can you not look at this and be like, Ghost is great? How can you look at this and think Ghost is great? This tells me it's lagging majorly behind. It might be speeding up in sales. Maybe it'll catch up and go, but to me, it's not. Like, if you click my thing real quick, my name, and go into my highlights, I actually have it there. This is my projection, right? Where I said 2.5 million. I made this on the 19th. I said after about 30 days, it'd be right around 2.5 million. And this was in the 19th. This is based on my 16th projection numbers.
Yep.
So by the end of October, 2.5, and now we're at 3.3 on the 10th. 2
or 3 extra days on it too. So I mean, you're not super. You're a few 100,000 off.
This is just a projection from. This is a projection from almost a month ago.
Yep.
Hello. It looks like I did all right.
And here's the difference. What do you think about the future tale for this game, as far as the people that are going to be wanting to, the word of mouth and stuff like that? Do you feel like this game is going to exponentially increase? Do you think Sony thinks that way about this, or do you think that it's going to drop off like I was showing in the table that I showed off earlier?
So your table looks a lot like launch week, like where you had that spike on launch week and then it trailed off. Like, this is something I saw in the numbers. Like, launch week was really good. I could tell it was good, but almost immediately, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it just went away.
Dropped.
Yeah, it just went away. And I mean, it's crawled along around 50K a day. And this is what I was saying. This is what I was saying. Like, it's selling about 50K a day, and it has kept that momentum. So if it just keeps going, it will go up for a while, but it has to stop somewhere. There's only so many PS5s out there. So,
but I will admit, and I'll take the L if this table is wrong and the future goes up and it doubles and continues. I'll be like, damn, I was so wrong with that game. Again, people are trying to take the victory lap right now. It's like there is no victory lap. It's still lagging behind Tsushima.
It's behind.
It's behind. How can you take a victory lap right now?
Yeah, it's behind, and you can see like the connection there between the blue line, the first and the second data points. Like it's past it. We know it's past it.
Yep.
I don't think it's gonna hit what it has to hit 5 million. What by the end of December to equal? It's not gonna do another 2 million, even for Christmas.
And even if it does, by the way, even if it is trailing it really close, we'll even bump this up and say, yeah, it does hit that. Okay. What about next year for it?
The thing that will really decide this thing is when it does the port, like Tsushima did.
Yep.
I wonder if they're going to try to get that port early, because this is disappointing, Sony. There's no way they look at this and be like, yeah, less is good. Us, the people out there are like, oh, less is good because install base. Sony is not looking at like, yeah, less is good. They're not looking at less is good, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And it's units sold. It's not money. And money's great. Yes, it's units sold. That's why they announce with games, units sold, not how much a game makes. That's why they tell us the amount of units. It's units.
And I'll leave it at this too. This is Genki. This was earlier today, which is what I was planning on making the video on. I didn't expect to get the full sales numbers from Sony when the recording went live here. Genki says Ghost of Yōtei was the #1 most downloaded game on the PS Store in Japan for October. Which again, it's like, yeah, it's a game based in Japan from a Japanese company. I would hope it's #1. What other games came out? Like it leaves out such Circana math. #2 in the US, #2 in Europe.
The downloads.
For downloads, right. And I said, why can't they just say it's outselling Tsushima? Oh, right. Because it's not.
It's not. Yeah, and this is
my
from the
barometer for or if it's successful or not. And people are getting mad at me for that.
It has to beat it. How can that not be the barometer?
Right.
How can
I
it
feel like
not
the very fair barometer. Like it's setting it as low as possible. Beat the predecessor, which is what you set out with the sequel to do. And you inserted a girl boss and you can't do it. But I'm right. How am I supposed to take an L there? How is anyone?
No, that's what we said from the beginning. It will do all right and not pass Tsushima. Period. And that is exactly where it is.
I will say this though. I thought it was going to be lifetime half of Tsushima. It looks like it's going to be lifetime 65 to maybe 70% of Tsushima.
We'll see how the PC port goes.
Right. But either way, it's still far below Tsushima's lifetime.
Yeah. $70 games don't do well on PC.
Right.
They don't. It's just not taking off. There has to be a banger.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yep.
I don't know when they'll do it. Do you think it'll be 6 months or a year? Do you think they'll rush it? That's kind of what I was getting at before. I think they'll get that out as soon as possible.
I think it's going to be a full year. I think it's going to be 365 days, but they're not going to wait they're not going to wait 366 days. They're going to be like,
yeah,
right at that year, they're going to be like, all right, let's get it out there.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah. Any other comments before we move on?
No, that's it. Other than Stellar Blade's way better than this. There we go.
Oh my God. Stellar Blade's so good.
So good.
So good. Actual girl boss.
Oh yeah. We like them. Yeah. We're not against women in video games. Hello.
Yes.
We like them.
Yep.